Hello guys, welcome back to another Genshin video. So Itto was recently just released, so we have a look of all of his constellations, his passives, his talents, literally everything. So today in this video, I'm going to go over his passives, constellations, and give a brief summary to see if he's worth it for free-to-play users. Now Itto is a really fun character in my opinion. You get stacks of super strengths with certain normal attack hits, and then you use those charge attacks to use up those stacks to do giant charge attack hits. And you can go pretty crazy with it. So first let's take a look at his talents. His normal attack string is pretty simple, but when the second and fourth hit of the normal attacks hit, it will give Itto a stack of super strength, which super strength can have a max of 5 stacks. The cool thing about Itto's normal attacks is that his string doesn't end immediately after sprinting or using his elemental skill. So you can keep that combo going even if you try to dodge or use his elemental skill, which is really cool. Now when you do his charge attacks though, he will do a series of giant slashes which does not consume stamina, and each slash consumes one of his super strength stats. When he uses his final stack, he will do a giant powerful slam. But if you try to do this with no stacks of super strength, he'll just perform a single slash. So here are the scaling, so 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, 4 hit, and then we can go to the combo slash, and at level 8, it will do 158% damage each slash, and the final slash will do 326%, so it does pretty insane damage. And then we can take a look at his elemental skill, which basically just summons a bull who just sits there and taunts enemies. When you first use this elemental skill, you get 1 stack of super strength, and when the taunt is destroyed or goes off the field, you gain another stack of super strength. And Ushi is actually considered a geo construct, so it might break on some bosses, which is pretty annoying, but we'll see. And then for his elemental burst, it's actually called Behold Itto the Evil, which basically all of his normal charge and plunging attacks will be geo damage now, and this cannot be overwritten, so you can use this with C6 Bennett. It will also increase his normal attack speed and his attack based on his defense. And then this time, on his first and third strikes of his attacks, he will also get a stack of super strength. So basically, when you pop his burst, every single normal attack you do will gain a stack of super strength. This will also decrease Itto's elemental and physical resistance by 20%, so you'll take more damage while you're in this state too, but that shouldn't be a problem because you should probably run him with like Zhongli or something. So if we take a look at his elemental burst, he gets an attack bonus of 92.2% of his defense at level 8. And he also gets that attack speed bonus, and the duration is actually 11 seconds with a cooldown of 18 seconds with an energy cost of 70. So he's a little bit more on the expensive side of elemental burst, but I think that should be fine because he should be probably running him with Goro, which is also on Arataki Itto's banner. Now if that all sounded confusing to you, here's just basically a dimmed down version of what his kit is. Basically do normal attacks to get stacks, use elemental skill to get stacks, and then use charge attacks to consume the stacks. And that's all you basically need to know about that. His first passive is when he uses consecutive charge attacks, he attains the following effects. Each slash increases the attack speed of the next slash by 10%, which can have a maximum of 30%, and increases his resistance to interruption. So when he uses his charge attacks, he just keeps using charge attacks faster and faster until all the stacks are consumed. His next passive is where his charge attack damage is increased by 35% of his defense. So you're going to want to build a whole lot of defense on him. You'll get so much attack percentage, and then on top of that, you'll get even more charge attack damage. And then his last passive is where you have a 25% chance to get additional log of wood. So that could be pretty useful if you want to farm out some wood. And there we go, that is all of his talents. Now I want to do a little showcase of his talents right here. So as you can see, we have nothing on our back. But when our second hit of our normal attack string hits, we have a little eyeball. Each time we have a little one of those glowing orbs, that means another stack of super strength. So we use elemental skill. Now we have 2 stacks. Now we have 3. And then when that happens, when the giant mask glows like very big, that is when you know you have the maximum stacks. And I can pop his elemental skill, and then use those stacks and go crazy, and when all the stacks are consumed, he does that giant downward spike. And then while you're in this mode, you can get even more stacks, and you can use up the stacks and do even more damage. So yeah, his kit is actually really fun. You get some stacks from using his other abilities, and then using charge attacks to do a giant slam, and doing a repetitive slashes over and over. And when you're in your burst, it will do even more damage, convert everything to Geo, and you're just gonna be going ham. Now let's take a look at his constellations, because his constellations are actually really good, so you might want to take a look for those. His first constellation is after using his elemental burst, he'll get 2 stacks of super strength, and Itto will gain 1 stack of super strength every 0.5 seconds for 1.5 seconds. So after you use his elemental burst, he'll get max super strength stacks after 1.5 seconds, so this could be really helpful for giving you more stacks more often and do more charge attacks for even longer. His Constellation 2 is after using his elemental burst, each party member whose element is Geo will decrease that skill's cooldown by 1.5 seconds and will store 6 energy to Itto. Cooldown can be a maximum of 4.5 seconds and the max energy is 18. So if you want him with more Geo teammates, his elemental burst cooldown is going to go down even faster and he's going to restore up to 18 energy. So running him with a Geo team is highly recommended. Constellation 3 increases the scaling of his elemental skill, and Constellation 4 is after your elemental burst ends, all nearby party members get 20% defense and 20% attack for 10 seconds. So you're just going to be buffing your team after you use Itto's burst, so I think that's pretty nice if you're wanting like Albedo for more defense and more attack, Goro for more defense and more attack, you get the idea. Constellation 5 increases the scaling of his elemental burst, and then Constellation 6 is probably the most crazy constellation. Itto's charge attacks deal plus 70% crit damage, which is actually insane. And then on top of that, when he uses his charge attacks, he has a 50% chance to not consume a stack of super strength. So in theory, if you get really lucky, you can do infinite charge attacks for so long. This is actually the best constellation in here, the most crazy one at that. That means you get 70% more crit damage at all times from just your charge attacks, which are a big part of his kit, and then you can just keep on swinging and swinging if you get lucky. So yeah, those are basically all of his constellations. They are really good. I don't think there's one of them that's innately bad. Honestly, they're just all super good. I don't even know what to say. So yeah, there we go. That is his constellations. So if we take a look at the Itto they gave us on the trial, they gave us Itto with 1,197 attack, with 2,186 defense, and he also has a crit rate of 71% and crit damage of 172, so that is a high ratio for the trial. Energy recharge of 135, and then Geo damage bonus all the way down here at 70.6. They also gave him the new Claymore, which is in the weapon banner, which increases his defense, and his normal charge attacks do more damage based on his defense, and has a crit damage substat, which can go up to 88% at level 90, so it's pretty crazy. And they also gave him a 4-piece of the new Husk of Opulent Dream set. So I have all these stacks of super strength. Before we start off the burst, I have 1,197 attack. Now I'm going to use the burst. And now I have 3,119 attack. That basically gives us 2,000 free attack based on his defense. So there's probably some defense artifacts right here, and then the new weapon of course. And remember, we get 92%, and now our attack speed bonus is also increased. So I'm just gonna go crazy, and since I have all these super strength stats as well, I'm gonna wait till this dude comes here. I'm gonna use this burst, and then go boop, 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 and look at me, I can just go over and over and just go crazy. So I'm gonna get my max stacks, use the burst, and charge attack, boink. Get some more stacks back. Make sure to not get hit though. I'm getting hit like crazy. This is a bad showcase. Now, is Itto good for free-to-plays? I'd say yes. He is definitely good, although the Redhorn Stone Thresher definitely makes him way better. The White Blind, as I've seen from other videos, is definitely a good choice as well. You can also use a Serpent Spine, you can also use a Black Cliff Slasher. You get more crit damage substats from the Black Cliff and Serpent Spine. But White Blind does have a major defense percentage substat, so it'll be great for Itto as well. And although his constellations are really good, I think he's perfectly fine at C0 as well. But you will be seeing a lot more damage from people who have C6 Ittos. So there we go, that's Itto's entire kit in a nutshell. Get stacks of super strength from using normal attacks, using his elemental burst, and use charge attacks to consume those super strengths to hit big damage numbers, and then use his burst to also get more stacks and convert all of his damage to Geo. And then also get major attack percentage bonus based off of his defense. So yeah, that's all for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye bye.